ready to get outdoors once the sun starts shining and all that good stuff. And we are joined today by Dr. Daniel Day, who is an expert in sports medicine. And let me just, a quick story about a friend of mine. A few years ago, we're at a picnic. And, you know, he's in his 50s at this point. And he declared, we decided we're going to have a kickball game.
Oh, boy.
And he goes, this is funny until somebody pulls a hammy. Within 5 minutes, he is rolling on the ground, grabbing his hamstring, and we thought it was going to end in the ER. It didn't, but that's kind of what we're talking about today. All of a sudden, we jump back into activity for a lot of people who might have been a little more sedentary during the wintertime. What can we do to make sure we don't pull a hammy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of classic weekend warriors. You know, we're all, as soon as the weather gets nice, we're outside, we're trying to get back to running and doing physical activity. And, you know, a lot of us have been dormant over the winter, and when we've been dormant and we try to re-energize and reactivate our muscles, a lot of times it can go badly.
Yeah.
For me, it's the gardening, because when I go outside and I say,
a lot too.
Yeah, oh, I'm going to go out, I'm going to rake the yard, I'm going to pick up all this stuff, and I'm going to mulch all this, and then before you know it, your hamstrings hurt, your arms, your back hurts, you've pulled. So what do you suggest to people? You're seeing, number one, a lot of these injuries, right?
Yep. So a lot of times it's too much, too fast, and that's where we get ourselves into trouble. So we don't really work up to being able to do those things and for that period of time.
Yeah.
So as you start getting into running, gardening, you know, we want to start thinking ahead, and 6 to 8 weeks before the weather gets nice, we want to start getting back into physical activity. And we need to make it a routine, because if you kind of take a month off and go back to it, that's where we really get into trouble. Yeah. So 6 to 8 weeks before, you want to be working on your core. You want to start getting the heart rate up, working up a sweat, getting those muscles re-engaged again, and that should help prevent injury.
I feel great, by the way. Yeah, just wanted to put that out there.
That's great.
No, this is going to be a slow climb back to health in the spring. Over at Rochester Regional Sports Medicine, what is the most common injury you see this time of year?
Well, we actually get a lot of the weekend warrior stuff, so the hamstrings, the backs. We also get a lot of overuse injuries with the adolescents and kids that they're starting to get into their spring sports. So, I mean, kids have really gone into one sport athletes, and they're playing year-round, and, you know, now we're getting into the seasons, and we start getting overuse injuries with them and weekend warrior injuries with adults. So it's different injury patterns. I mean, from the adults and weekend warriors to the kids and overuse injuries. I mean, we have a whole different subsets. We can't treat those kids as little adults. We have to treat them as adolescent kids.
People say, you know, make sure you stretch your muscles before you go outside. You know, always do that. But that's one of the things people tend to overlook. They just want to get out there.
Very true. And we've kind of changed that a little bit. I mean, we want more of a dynamic warm-up now, where we're taking the joint through the full range of motion, not so much bending and touching your toes for 30 seconds. That's usually a good cool down, but now we're trying to do more sport-specific warm-ups, where we're taking the joint through the whole range of motion, we're warming the muscles up, we're getting the heart rate going, and that's better injury prevention for the sport. And then once you're cooling down, you can start doing some of those static stretches.
I do a fitness class, a lot of people do, and that's exactly what they do every day. It's not about stretching beforehand, it's about just getting everything going and trying to move all the joints. There was the old thing, and I've always wanted to ask a doctor this. You were told if you got hurt as a kid, rub dirt in it and take a lap. Does that help in any way?
I would say no.
Okay, just thought you've heard that though, haven't you? Okay, yeah.
There's scientific evidence that works. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
When people come to you, what can they expect? We got 30 seconds left in terms of, a lot of this stuff can be, if you just pull back for a little while and do what you say, it can be better. It's not necessarily a thing you're going to be dealing with for a long period of time.
That's very true. So, I mean, you always want to start with rest. You can always use an anti-inflammatory and give it some time to get better, and then really progress back into things.
Dr. Dan Day from Rochester Regional Sports Medicine. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Doctor.
For having me.